Hello.
Hi. How are you guys doing today?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Robodrone Energy Conglomerate LLC presents the Kamikaze Snowmen in Robots Are the Future, and also, what is it called again? Robots are the future, and the future is you, and in the future, you are robots.
Yes.
We know that you guys have a lot of questions coming into the con this year about Robodrone Energy Conglomerate LLC, and we thought that maybe having a time where we could sit down and tell you about how great they are would be a welcome panel.
Let's start by talking about how we got involved with this, Josh.
Yeah, that sounds. Go ahead.
So originally, Robodrone had a number of people that they were trying to select from. Originally, they contacted the group, the Kamikaze Swordsmen. That did not work out.
They were dead by then.
And for
Killed
liability
themselves.
reasons, they weren't
tragic.
able to have the remaining members come and attend. So then they moved on to some other options. They made a contact out to the remaining members of InSync. Apparently, they had other obligations, except for Joey Fatoni. I think he was free, but they didn't just want him. They really wanted the guy with the dreadlocks, but apparently he couldn't do it either. So
religious reasons, I think.
I think it was religious reasons. So they had some other options on the table, but eventually they did contact us.
We were like 50th on the list, I think.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Right? Well, that's when I went to prom. I was about 50th on the list for my prom date. Like everyone else was taken at that point.
Sounds about right.
She had a terrible time. It's very traumatic for me.
It's because you refused to dance, Josh. I don't know why.
Because dancing is the devil's playground. Let's be honest here.
It's true.
Have you seen the movie Footloose? That John Lithgow guy had it right.
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't able to watch that movie.
Why not?
Because it was about the devil and dancing. So.
Oh, sure.
But I've heard it's very bad.
Well, no, the movie itself, it's good up until the point where, all the kids start dancing.
Right, which is why I couldn't see it.
Right, because of the devil.
Right.
Right.
And the dancing. They're really one and the same. So they did contact us, and we agreed to come and be the spokespeople,
Spokespersons.
right, of Robodrone Energy Conglomerate LLC. And apparently, I did not know much about this company, actually, before we were contacted.
They were, right. They've been around a long time. There were a lot of mandatory
Training videos.
knowledge sessions that we needed to
Knowledge
go through.
implantation sessions? Is it knowledge
both.
implantation sessions
And
training
implementation.
sessions, sleep deprivation sessions, gunpoint sessions.
Yeah.
Where they a lot of forced training videos we had to attend about Robodrone and their collective history.
So we're experts now, is what we're saying.
Right.
We've gone through a lot.
And actually, I don't. Is the lawyer from Robodrone here?
Well, we'll just have to hope we get things right.
Okay, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Excellent. So let's start off with a little bit of a background of the company itself. You guys, I'm sure you're very curious to know. Robodrone was actually founded in 1862. It's been around for a long time. A lot of what they produced at that time were steam-powered bushes, which really helped turn the tide of the Civil War.
Yeah, very crucial.
Very important in ensuring that we ended slavery in this country. Now, there are some rumors that they were on the side of the South and that the steam-powered bushes exploding is what gave us in the North the advantage, but those are just rumors.
Unfounded.
Really, completely. There's no historical documents after they were thrown in the incinitron. But yeah, it started off then, and Robodrone has grown into a company that's, what do they say? Too big to fail, I think is what they like to say around the office.
Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying steam power technology. Well, that is an antiquated method of power, okay? And Robodrone is committed to eventually getting off of steam and moving forward to coal, okay? We have a 20-year plan.
Right.
We have 3 committees funded exclusively by another committee who has to disperse the funds.
Right, they have to determine the validity of the other 3 committees.
Coming through a vote of the subcommittee.
And then there's,
And then they get the funds. Anyway, they've committed to moving away from steam in 20 years. So that is remarkable for a company that has relied on steam primarily for over 150 years. So we are moving forward into the future with coal and eventually other things.
Right, when they get discovered. I think coal is,
the scientists at Robodrone, look, we put a lot of scientists on this, and they were really, really skeptical about anything not powered by steam. So we had many, many studies to finally conclude that steam, while the best energy source still on this planet and great, we just have to retire it.
Well, if you think about it, the planet is, 80, 90% water, and when water is heated up, it turns into steam. But we do have plans to use all that water within the next 20 years. So
all of that
is why we're
water's
trying
gone,
to move away from steam.
We will have another energy source.
Right. First comes the anti-cloud seeding program. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Right.
So that's a little bit about where the company started and some of our future plans. I'm sure a lot of you have questions out there. Let's open it up right away to any questions that our audience might have about Robo. Oh, yes, you. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's right out of the gate. First of all, those are patently false. Robodrone does not employ any child labor in any of their factories or any of their other facilities. Now, we do have a lot of very small cyborgs, but they have been legally determined to be more machine than human.
Person.
So they're not legally children.
Technically.
So I can see where the confusion might come in. But no child labor. That's not, Robodrone actually has a number of programs dedicated to helping children and helping them learn.
Right, so they do have some nonprofits that they operate, and they teach the children such great skills as robotic taekwondo. Okay.
Very important. Virtual online Cub Scouting.
Okay.
Because, a lot of moms, they like to have a glass of wine while they're pregnant, and now their kids have asthma and can't go out into the woods. And so, we want to make sure that every child has the opportunity to experience life in the wilderness.
Experience nature and wilderness
while it's still here.
Without going into nature
because
and wilderness.
Nature is going to be eradicated in 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
As is Robodrone has dictated. We also have non-denominational nap time, fun time. So that's a great time for the children.
Absolutely.
And we also have a class that teaches gender-neutral home economic and TV VCR repair online correspondence course.
Very important skills.
Very relevant. TV VCR repair still, a lot of that is needed out there. So, get your kids enrolled.
I don't know how to set my VCR clock. Do you?
No, it just keeps blinking.
Children
at me.
of the future.
Noon, right? It's still noon every day.
Yeah.
What other programs do they have, Josh, for children?
They also have what's lovingly referred to as Death Match 5000. It's not really a death match. I know what you're thinking. But it prepares them for the possibility of death. It really ingrains into them that they're mortal and that someday they will die. And really encourages them to enhance themselves with various cybernetic implants so that they can cheat death.
Yeah, right.
And really, it's
but that class is only available for children of the right age, so 5 years or younger for that program, to teach them all those wonderful life lessons.
That's right. That's right. Oh, we have another question from the
Interesting.
Bride of some. Okay, sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to repeat the question so that everyone in the audience hears. There are apparently rumors that our faces are dumb and we smell bad. I would respond by saying that that's hurtful.
I can respond to the first part. That's probably my fault.
Also the second part, let's be honest.
Probably me too.
Yeah.
So I'll take that one for the
But those are
team.
just rumors. They're unfounded. All rumors are unfounded unless we found them. So let's move on a little bit here, and let's talk a little bit about some of the various things that Robodrone has created. You guys are probably familiar with a lot of the products, but we wanted to gauge exactly how much you know about some of the great products and things that they produce. So basically, we've got a segment we call "What Does This Do?" And we're going to ask you guys, we're going to bring up a particular product or service that Robodrone provides, and if anyone knows, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll call on you and you can tell us what you know about that. All right, so let's start off. There's a lot of stuff we have here. Let's start off with compliance gas. Does anyone know what compliance gas does? Anybody? It can be, if the Robodrone overlords do want you to laugh after you have ingested the gas. It's a gas, but it's in a capsule, and you actually eat it.
Right.
And then it like comes back out of you, and so you are kind of the method of transfer with compliance gas. It's a very efficient system. Also, there's some nanotechnology involved in that.
Yeah. And it's green, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Looks cool when it's
Right?
coming out of your mouth and stuff. It's like a dragon's breath. So that's pretty rad.
It's fantastic. It's very good. Let's try another one here. Does anybody know what the Wizard does?
Don't be bashful.
Heard of the Wizard? Yes, you, sir.
Does it help you cast spells?
You're close. You're very close. The Wizard.
Any other guesses? Oh, yes.
Is it named Purdue?
It was. Oh, yeah, we have another. Yes, so
All of those
all
things.
of these things are absolutely true. So Pardue the Wizard, who was a member of one of the deep. Are we allowed? The lawyer isn't here.
Lawyer's not here. Go with it.
Circle 13. There are various organizational levels in Robodrone. Just a few of them. There's Circle 13. Directly above that is the chair. A couple levels above that, I think, is that?
Is that the cell? Is it the
Yeah,
cell?
that's the cell.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think, again, just right above that is the window into nowhere.
Right.
And these are various levels that you can achieve, you can join. So Pardue, a very powerful wizard in his own right, he created
A nanomatrix?
a nanomatrix.
That resides on the surface of the moon, I believe.
Right, which we should mention has not been confirmed to exist.
Right.
Right.
So far, the scientists are out on that one.
Yeah. But basically, it resides on there and transmits various waves of energy. What would that be? Not ley lines, because those are within the Earth, but
Quag lines?
quag lines. Yes,
That's right.
Thank you. So it transmits along the quag lines, and that can actually alter the chemical composition of your bodily fluids. So it could be used to help you pass a drug test. It can also be used to turn, purify the blood, or to turn it into some kind of an oil.
Right.
To help lubricate the various robot
And then
parts.
by secreting the oil, then you can actually, there is a way to, they call it jittering, and it affects the glands in your body, and then that oil shoots forth And then it does occasionally can start on fire. And that is very handy
And by
when
occasionally,
facing,
we mean frequently.
frequently,
Yeah.
when facing hordes of enemies you want to send up in flames. So
You
I
can
guess
al-
in that way it kind of is like casting spells.
You can only do it once, though. That's it.
Right.
You, sir, yes. Yes, it is. Very good. So whenever you are installing software on your computer or like a new printer or something, the wizard that pops up, that is exactly what it is.
Which is sometimes why it takes so long, because keep in mind, those things are being transmitted from the moon, so it does
Which
take a
again,
while.
we can't confirm exists.
Right. So,
so-
the spherical disc is what we call it.
Right. We have another one. You, sir, in the back, yes.
Is this the same wizard that is the master of video games when they first come out?
It is, but it's not the wizard that the movie The Wizard was based on. Those are two different people. A lot of people get that wrong.
Is it the one that the movie The Wiz was based on?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. We have another question from the lady who's now wearing a cowboy hat.
I've always been wearing this hat.
Something seems suspicious. Okay. Anyway, yes. What's your question?
Now I just want to know why you get these bulky metal appendages when they could instead get these safe genetic alterations. Am I right, folks?
Oh, let's slow down a little, partner. All right, first of all, let's talk about genetic tampering.
Right.
Right? Let's call it what it really is. That's
Still outlawed in most countries
Absolutely.
and states that have representation that may or may not have been funded by Robodrone Energy Conglomerate LLC.
Correct.
But they still are outlawed in those states, regions, provinces, cities, and countries.
and a lot of people would say that this genetic tampering is playing God. And I just want to bring up that Robodrone does not play God. We have several pacts with many minor and greater deities.
Right.
The pantheons of which you probably have never heard of, and if you did, you would go insane. But we don't play God.
No.
We're about replacing what's on the surface because that's what's important.
Right. And we're also about cool-looking, steam-powered, functional limbs, okay?
Absolutely.
And we encourage problem solving with violence with those large, bulky appendages. And we can report that your ability to problem solve with those appendages go up by 300% once you have them installed and they are properly functioning. So that is
Absolutely.
a guarantee for every Robodrone part.
Absolutely. All right, let's look at another product here. You guys so far are doing very well. I think we're clearing up a little misinformation. We're learning a bit. This is good. Have any of you guys heard of legs? Legs.
Legs?
Legs.
Are they steam-powered?
That is an excellent question. Not currently. Strangely enough, legs are the only product Robodrone creates that is not steam-powered. They're actually powered by your own sense of self-worth. And the more appendages you get, like if you have like 8 legs, you can run so fast because you believe in yourself. Yes, you with the eye patch.
If they're powered by self-worth, does that mean they don't actually work?
So our next product on the list, has anybody heard of or does anybody use the Tower of Miniature Lightning Spiders? You heard of this one? Anyone?
Anybody know what that?
Oh, you sir. Yeah.
Is it what's used to help get rid of mosquitoes when you are attempting to do everything but burn your house down?
Yes, very good. So, you see mosquitoes flying around summertime. We're in Fargo. It happens, right? But you hate those things. Well, you can get the Tower of Miniature Lightning Spiders. When it detects mosquitoes, it releases a bunch of little lightning spiders to go and to intercept and take down the mosquitoes. Now, the problem then is you have a bunch of miniature lightning spiders running around. But we do have a steam-powered gecko that likes to eat the lightning spiders that you can purchase to take care of that. Now, the gecko does like to replicate, and so you can end up with a real bad gecko infestation
Right.
really fast. So we created a cybernetic enhancement control device that we put on apes, and you can get an ape to take care of the geckos for you.
Yeah. He doesn't get rid of the geckos. He just makes sure that they're relatively peaceful and.
He cares for them like they're babies.
Right. So if you like geckos
And apes.
and apes, the
Very
spider
important.
mosquito tower thing is the thing to get. Oh,
Absolutely.
another-
Oh, yes, sir.
Is there any way for me to be modified to be the gorilla that is controlling the gecko?
That is an excellent question. So yes, there is a device that allows you to create a neural link across the quag lines with the ape. So it's almost as though you have two bodies. You have your frail, miserable human form, but you can just kind of leave that sitting over in the corner to decay while you take over the mind and the movements and motions of the ape. So yes, it's very, oh, I saw your hand first, sir.
Is there a way to control the spiders directly?
There is, but it does involve a few processes that I don't know if we're allowed to talk about here, because those come directly from Lampshade 4,
Right.
which is very, very, you know, we'd probably be killed from orbit if we started talking about that. So you'll just have to go with the geckos and the apes after that point. Oh yes, back in the back.
Where does the tower come in, and is there still a patent pending, and where can I get one?
All right. So the tower itself is a 20-foot tower that you have installed in your house. And the spiders live inside of it.
Right. The cool thing is it also doubles as a charging device, so you can charge all of your mobile devices via USB 1.0 is the interface.
Convenience.
So
right at
that's-
your fingertips.
What's that?
Well, the device converts steam into the lesser electrical charge that your device needs.
Right.
It does take about 2.5 hours to get about a 10% charge. But really, you're going to be spending so much time dealing with those spiders that the time will just fly past. Oh, yes, sir.
How will that device be affected when you switch over to coal?
Excellent question. So that device, essentially what will happen is that device will become obsolete.
You'll have to upgrade it to the coal tower.
Right.
Right.
Or you can get an entirely new tower, or you can get an attachment, a conversion kit.
That
it
turns
takes
the
some-
coal into steam and then turns that into energy. And the good news is you already have the ape, so that can spend all the time shoveling the coal into the furnace to get that to run. So
Right. This was thought of well behind in the design process. So, I think you had your hand up earlier. Yes.
For those of us with phobias, is there an alternative to spiders?
Unfortunately, the beings, what we call lightning spiders, can't take on any other form.
yet. They are trying to research that. We are trying to. The wizard is in the process of trying to contact the elder god who controls ultimately the lightning spiders. But so far, he has neglected to return our praises and prayers. But
Sacrifices.
sacrifices of normal spiders.
Yes, in the back there.
Can you please elaborate on the process that you use to gather your scientists that you are bringing into your facilities?
So yes, there is a very rigorous process in choosing and cultivating scientists for Robodrone Energy Conglomerate. I'm glad you asked because we do have programs in place. There are internships available if anyone is interested. First of all, you have to be willing to sign a waiver. And that also, guarantees that in the event of any injury or anything that Robodrone isn't held responsible, and also gives them power of attorney. Once you do that, they will take you into the Educatron, I believe is what they call that.
Right.
It is a large dome-shaped building. Well, it's not really a building. It's more like a cask.
Right.
And you get locked in there for a period from 1 to 3 months. Just kind of depends on your current brain activity and how many robot parts you have installed. The more you have installed, the less time it will take. It will get a little more cramped in there because of the bulkiness of the metal appendages, but really you're conscious, but you're reportedly in so much pain that you'll spend most of your time screaming anyway, so you don't have time to worry about the claustrophobia aspect of it. And then after that period, if you survive, then you are indoctrinated in. There is a ceremony that involves bananas. We can't tell you why. That's something that happens behind closed doors. I think there's something about the potassium in there. And also to appease the apes, probably. But after that, then you are ready to
Ascend.
Yes.
Ascend into scienthood is what they call it. So you raise into the ranks of the other scientists. We talked about how we teach young children about the death matches. Well, that might come into play once you get into that organization.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You miss with the rabbit ears.
Okay, so I'm just wondering with your, I actually have 2 questions, sorry. So, with your mind control device thingy, this is my first question, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that, you should be the ones taking responsibility for Bieber fever, then?
So Bieber fever is, that's kind of a touchy subject around the Robodrone offices. We are not directly responsible for Bieber fever. Robodrone actually did, and they have released statements saying so. They released beaver fever, which was a bunch of rabid beavers. You may remember the Great Dam Catastrophe of 1952, where they built a lot of dams and basically blocked off all water from entering the United States for a short period of time. That was resolved, however.
But yeah, later on, a company, an offshoot company of Robodrone, they eventually went independent. Some people went and formed their own company and then used the same code to create what is now known as Bieber fever.
Right, by growing the Bieber subject in a tankard.
Releasing him onto the world.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened since then.
It's an unfortunate dark spot on our record, but
Well, okay, so my second question, it had to do with, you were talking about, the hiring process.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, how you respond to Robodrones, hiring talentless hacks. Sorry. Clear my throat. So that was my question.
You seem awfully familiar. Have we met before?
I don't think so.
Well, we did talk a little bit about the hiring process. Like I said, we were 50th in line, which means there are a lot of lower talented people in the world still. Honestly, 50 out of the billions of people that exist, I think that's pretty good.
Right.
Right? So,
At least we think so.
yeah. All right. Let's see. What should we talk about next year?
I have another product. So if you guys know what this is, the Pool of Infinite Radiance. Does anybody know what that is?
Pool of Infinite Radiance. Anybody heard of that one?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Is it that thing when you look into the ink cloud's mouth and it has the lights and they're dancing around? Is it like that?
No, it's actually just a fountain in the backyard of the headquarters.
Yeah. They
Really
put
pretty.
a light in it that shines, it changes color. It's
Looks
very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, it
Sometimes
lights
it
up
shoots
at
little
night.
streamouts.
Yeah,
You know,
that would be cool though.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes.
Going back to the compliance gas,
Oh, yes.
is there any harmful side effects like death and/or flatulence?
Well, the flatulence is a feature of the
An
product.
enhancement, really.
Right. Because we didn't mention the compliance gas is very, very nice smelling. It's designed to smell like, what metal flowers will smell like in the future. So there's a certain perfumed aspect of it that is highly reminiscent of zinc, which I think we can all agree is a very pleasant smell. But yeah, any other side effects of the compliance gas? There is a possibility that 1 or 2 biomechanical organisms work their way into the pills before you eat them, and a variety of things can happen then. But that only happens 70% of the time. So it's really nothing to worry about. You can see it's all on the label. In very small script in an ancient language so it's there for you to read. We don't hide anything. All right, should we talk about, we should do this next segment here.
Right, yeah.
Which is called science fiction or science fact.
All right.
Because there's, as we've heard, there are some rumors going around, and just not even just within Robodrone, but in the science community at large. And we want to make sure that you guys are getting the right information.
From the right sources.
Absolutely. So let's talk about solar energy. Is that science fiction or science fact? Anybody, just yell it out. Fiction, thank you. That is correct. Solar energy is not actually been proven. The Robodrone scientists have not confirmed.
Decades of research, and they cannot quantify or confirm that solar energy exists.
They have set any number of machines, not even Robodrone products, but like microwaves, remote-controlled cars, things like that, out in the sunshine, and nothing happens.
At one point they actually did launch a rocket into the sun to see if there was energy there that they could get back from the sun, and nothing.
Right. It may have started a chain reaction that will eventually destroy the sun, but given that the sun doesn't do anything for us, we're not worried.
Not worried at all.
So, yes, you, sir.
How do you respond to allegations of wet laundry drying in the sun?
Now, that's an interesting conundrum. He's asking about wet laundry drying in the sun. So what causes that?
That is wet laundry drying in the sun syndrome, okay? It's actually a mental condition. Those people who are forced to do laundry repeatedly throughout the weeks and months and years, they become hallucinogenic and actually believe that placing the laundry out in the sun dries them, but it doesn't actually happen. They think it's dry. That's why sometimes you will see people wearing sopping wet clothing around, and that just happens. But great question.
And eventually their body heat is what dries it.
Right.
So they'll come to you and say, this was dry before I put it on. But we know better.
We know you should use Robodrone Energy Conglomerate LLC dryers to dry your clothes.
Absolutely. We have a question in the back.
Yes, can you please respond to the allegations that you're replacing human infant babies with robots?
So.
Well,
That's.
I don't know how you heard about that project, first off.
Yeah.
That's beyond the cell level.
And not true in the least.
No,
Absolutely not.
If it were true, which it's not, the babies would be very strong. They would have the strength of about 300 other babies
Smaller
that are
babies.
Slightly smaller. So if they grab your finger, that thing is gone. I can tell you that. If they were to exist.
If they were to exist.
Which they don't.
No, absolutely not. If they were developed, yes, because they are steam powered. So you would need special self-drying diapers because, as we discussed, you can't dry them in the sun.
Right.
So any residue or discharge that would come from a robot infant would need to be collected in a very specific manner so as not to cause chafing. Yes, in the back. We did try to develop dry steam. That only opened a portal to a nightmare realm. It'd be like if you put a dehumidifier in front of a humidifier. Same thing, just creates a negative zone in between them through which various demons and other horrible, impossible beings can escape. So the dry steam project was put on indefinite hold last year. Did you have your hand up again?
Yeah, a follow-up to my last one.
Mhm.
In sight of the water storage, has your company looked into using body heat as a source of energy?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question indeed. You, sir. I don't know if anyone's checked in on it.
Yeah, I
lately.
think they just shut down that wing of the building.
The problem is it happened at like 4:59 on a Friday.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna
and
do?
Everyone went home for the weekend. It
Yeah.
was a holiday weekend, and so honestly, I don't know if that actually got taken care of. But the doors
Are
to
pretty solid. They're made of metal, so that's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
They should be able to withstand any sort of energy forces or demonic beings coming out of that other room. So it is locked with a metal bar. So we feel pretty confident about it that it's safe. You should too.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, in the back.
So I'm looking for the company I work for.
Mhm.
Do you happen to know where I can get some steam-powered armaments, particularly steam-powered grenades?
Oh, yes. Actually, talk to us afterwards. We do have an order form that's available, not online because we don't trust the internet. No Steam on it whatsoever. Not even Steam, right? You guys got games off of Steam? There's no Steam involved. Can't trust it. But we'll help you out with that. We have ones that are specifically useful for places of work and spouses' houses and things. That rhymes.
They are just. We should clarify. They do just release steam, though. They're not.
Oh, the steam-powered grenades, yeah.
Yeah, it's just steam. It's
But it
like
hurts
it's
a-
like
it's
you've seen like
hot.
smoke bombs for fireworks. It's like that, but with some steam. So
But if it goes off next to your face,
watch out.
yeah.
It can.
Exactly. And we'll talk afterwards, yes. I see a hand up over here.
When is it projected that the Kamikaze Snowmen will be completing the robot conversion?
So we're not actually in charge of the robot conversion. For us personally, they actually don't want us to convert ourselves. It's very important that we remain flesh. I don't know exactly what that means, but
Didn't they mention host body at one point?
those training
For-
sessions went on for hours.
I seem to remember something about implantation, host bodies, and insects. Is that
Oh yeah, Alien Insect Overlords was set at one point.
right? So apparently, we're designated for something special
Right.
in the future.
Oh, another question in the back. Yes, sir.
What do you say in response to the rumors that Robodrone has started taking over blood banks and replacing the blood with robot food?
Oh, that's 100% true.
Absolutely, because we
Yeah.
all know that robot oil is way better for you than blood. So it's more efficient and it's more natural.
Side note on that, if anyone comes around with a truck saying that they are collecting blood for doing a blood drive, don't believe them. They're collecting it for their own personal use. So all the blood banks are now converted over. So watch yourselves out there. Important consumer tip. Oh, yeah, you, sir, over there.
Are there any specified types of oil?
There are a number, as many types of oils as there are colors in the rainbow, which are three. There's actually only three
Three
colors.
colors, which is confirmed.
The rest is a lie. Robodrone produces all of them, all three. They're all natural, all synthetic, and they are 100% guaranteed.
to keep your robot parts lubricated for up to 3,000 miles or 16 hours, whichever one comes first.
Guarantee is not guaranteed.
Right.
So keep that in mind. But yes, that is the products are available and
At your local Walgreens, actually. You
Yep.
can find them there.
CVS pharmacies. Yes, sir.
I have some people, coworkers that I don't like working with. Can you replace them with steam-powered Raptors?
Yes and no. So what we would suggest doing is getting yourself some good upgrades, and then some compliance gas, so you can be a more effective host for the compliance gas, and then projecting that on to those coworkers that you don't like. And then, when they come in of their own free will after being told that they want to be Cyber Raptors, then Robodrone can actually absolutely fit them with the correct parts. There is a lot of reshaping of the bones to do that, since the human shape, is not especially conducive to being a raptor, but it definitely can be done. It's painful, very, but it's them, and they want it, or they will. So that's not your concern. Another question in the back, yes.
I don't like my job. What would it take to have a robot version of me to do my job and I still get paid?
So we do have a program that is in place. It's being developed, called the Cult of Personalities. And we are working on coming up with complete replacements for people. Now, the trick there is if Robodrone does create a robotic clone of you to replace you, they will have to get rid of you, because you can only have one in existence. There is some really fragile stuff happening with the time-space continuum that, it's like in time travel, they always say same matter can't occupy the same space. Well, if you have two things that look too much alike, they also can't exist in the same subspace, and it gets very tricky. Sorry, you have a follow-up?
I do. Can I go to a different dimension instead?
We can check to see if the portal's still open to the Nightmare Realm.
Right.
And you could just swing right in there. I'll bet you they're probably taking people all the time. Yes, I swear we've met before. I'm sure I remember your face. Not necessarily your clothing, but do you have antlers on your shoulder? I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Well, what I want to know is why Robodrone hasn't taken responsibility for the Eldritch Pulsequake in 1904.
The Eldritch Pulsequake. Now so that's kind of tricky. That's a bit of a gray area. So everybody remembers the Eldritch Pulsequake of 1904. You've read about it. You've heard about it in schools. No, they haven't erased that from people's memories yet. Okay. So it happened. It originated at a Robodrone facility deep beneath Albuquerque, New Mexico. But the trick there is, it's twofold, really.
While they technically did develop the product while under employment of Robodrone, the product was actually defunded and descoped and decommissioned 2 days prior to the event happening. So technically, Robodrone was not found liable for the quake of 1904.
Exactly. Again, it was 4:59 on a weekend situation.
They left it there. They were going to come back to it on Monday. Unfortunately, yeah.
It went off. But yes, so Robodrone found not to be liable in that particular scenario. So read your history books. It's all in there. The Robodrone brand history books, I believe, are in schools now. So
Yeah, yes, except for New Mexico.
Right. Well, because we all know what happened in New Mexico back in 1904. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and we have a couple other things under our science fiction or science fact. Let's talk about another one of those while we still have a little bit of time available. Has anybody heard of the murder bots? Anybody? Just show of hands if you've heard of them. All right, we've got some. If after the panel you could write down your name and address and a time when you're typically alone.
Do you go camping? Do you go someplace alone? Or
We would love to get that information, so please
Show
make
of hands
sure
again. Show of
you
hands.
submit that.
Full name, to date of birth, address. All of those things will be needed.
Next of kin, also, if you
Right. Good call.
would like there. Okay, let's see. Science fiction or science fact? Global warming. Anyone heard of that? Is it science fiction or science fact? Anyone know?
Do you mean climate change?
Nope. Nope.
no,
we
global
do
warming.
mean global warming.
Yes. Does anyone?
Nope.
You can just shout it out if you. All right, so we're hearing a lot of conflicting answers out there, and it's understandable. This is very, very difficult. So first of all, climate change is real. Scientists have proven it. So stop destroying the Earth. Robodrone has a lot of resources we still need to get out of it.
Right. We need it around for a long time.
But global warming is, that actually is also science fact, but not what you would think. It's not the same as global warming, or climate control, excuse me, or climate change. Climate control is a different thing altogether. But essentially, global warming, it ties in with this notion of solar power, and that's why we wanted to talk about that here as well. Global warming happens when people lay down on the ground for too long.
Right.
The heat from our bodies is actually pulled in. Now, this is where the ley lines come in, not the quag lines. It pulls into the ley lines, and actually that does raise the surface temperature of the Earth by only a degree or two.
Right.
But that is enough to mess with a lot of steam-powered technology. So
we do have a training program. It's called the Triple S's. It's scream, scream, and stand. So if you see somebody at a park and they're laying down, you can just run at them and scream at them and tell them to stand up, because what they are doing by laying down is hurting all of us and hurting the Earth. So if you see somebody just peacefully resting at a park, just scream at them and wave your arms and tell them to stand up right away.
Absolutely. All right, we have time for one more question. No, you've asked enough. You're the same. Yeah, I think. Does anyone else have a question? Yes, in the back there. Well, because in the Midwest, we have some very extreme temperatures. So basically, Robodrone products are calibrated so that they work in various areas of the world, but only within 1 to 2 degrees. So a product here, that's designed for use in Fargo, North Dakota, would work from temperatures ranging negative 60 degrees all the way up to 210. Because that's about what we range, right? But if that changes even 1 or 2 degrees, then there's a very good chance that products, it's just not going to work. At best, it just won't work. At worst, it's going to explode or otherwise cause irreparable damage, especially if it's an implant inside your head. You don't want that thing going off. So remember, scream, scream, and stand. Very important, very important. So that was a quick one. We do have time for one more, yes?
Does that explain the not for use in the Northern Hemisphere disclaimer on the Robodrone vertical sleeping product?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, there are certain products like that one that you absolutely should not bring north of a certain latitude line or longitude line.
We absolutely cannot be held liable for what happens if you do.
Again, the warning label is there in very plain Eldritch script.
So it comes with a translator book, which you can read at your own peril, but it is there and given to you, so there is that.
All right, fine, Miss.
Thanks. I'm just wondering, this actually is a question for Paul.
Oh, excuse me. All right, fine. Rude.
What is the secret code that initiates the self-destruct sequence?
Oh, that's easy. That's 4, 5.
No.
3.
Sorry, that's all the time we have for our Q&A session today. Thank you so much, everybody. We hope that you learned a little something about Robodrone in the process. Again, those of you who raised your hands earlier, if you could give us all that information, we'd appreciate that. And we hope that you guys will enjoy all of the great products and services that Robodrone provides. So thank you very much. Thanks to CoreCon, and we'll see you out there. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh. I should mention, tonight, after Johnny Bruff has his erotic dance, or excuse me, after Deacon does his erotic dance demonstration, we do have a comedy showcase. Starts at 9:30 in this very room. So we hope that you guys will come out and see that. Some great local comedians going to tell some jokes and make you laugh. So we do have cards with the date and stuff on there. They also have artwork of the comedians and some things. So thank you very much again. We hope to see you later tonight, and have a good one.
Thank you.